What's going on, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about the top 2 headlines. 3 things that you want to avoid if you're trying to sell your home. We're going to be talking about the mortgage roller coaster. We're going to do the real estate hot or not. And we're going to jump into the comment section. Today, we got a special guest. We got Tracey Williams Barnett. Welcome to the Real Estate Wire, folks. What's going on, everybody? My name is Dan the Realtor.
Mortgage Coach Marcus.
And today, we got a very, very special guest. We got Tracey Williams Barnett. What's going on, Tracey?
Not much, chilling in your beautiful man shed.
We brought Tracey to the shed today because Tracey is a real estate agent extraordinaire at Keller Williams, one of my good friends at Keller Williams. Also, you got your own podcast too, right?
I do.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What's going on?
It's called The Reluctant Hams. It's a crazy name, but you know, we live in the kind of like, it's quirky. It's about pop culture and mixing pop culture and real estate together. Mm-hmm. And the name just came about because we, as individuals, my co-hosts, Franklin and Gigi, we all consider ourselves reluctant hams in the sense that we all want to be on center stage. And we love the people on center stage, but we're kind of still shy too. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the idea of Reluctant Hams came about, because we're kind of shy. We want to be in the forefront, but we're shy and we're more humble about it. So that's what we do. We just get in there, kick it, have fun, and talk about real estate and shit we see on TV.
So where'd y'all get hams from?
Because you're a ham. You like to be...
Like the meat?
Well, funny.
Come on now, Dan.
I almost went there when she first said
it. That's what I'm like.
I'm going to let you say something dumb.
You never heard of somebody being a ham?
What? Okay, I guess. Yeah. Not
Marcus,
really.
Help me out here.
Have.
Okay, thank you. He didn't know what PK was.
I grew up sheltered.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I grew up very sheltered.
Shelter is like a slang term for being silly, being fun. You're a ham. Oh gosh.
That's dope. That's dope. But I really like y'all podcast, man. Y'all, it's like a different vibe. Y'all just be chilling. And y'all talk about everything too.
We do.
Yeah, you said pop culture and
yeah, we blend pop culture and real estate. We drop knowledge, but in a fun kind of way.
And that's what I like about what we do, because we talk about real estate, we talk about the lending world, finances, but we talk about real things with real people. And that's the greatest benefit, I think, in this business, that you can actually be who you are. You don't have to be and conform to somebody else's logo and then your
authentic self, right?
Yeah, you can just be yourself and create your own brand. And when you speak about pop culture, you're from what many would consider the heart of pop culture, right? Specifically hip hop. New York City.
I'm from New York.
Born
in Queens, raised on Long Island.
Yeah.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
I don't think we got that. I don't think we actually recorded that freestyle, so I want to get that.
Oh no!
I don't know.
Hey, Real Estate Wire Squad. Before we get into the content, we got a very, very special treat for you today. We got MC T-Bone.
Wow. You got a name. You got a name.
Who's T-Bone?
I don't know.
That is not me. Dan is serious. He really would have. Okay. Because I can't resist. My name is Tisha. That's all you need to know, except I got what it takes to make a slow party go. So just step back. I'll put you under. Always rock it undercover. Fuck with me. You will discover that my rhymes are like no other. Hey. Thank you.
Bars.
That's what I do.
Tracey got
it's
bars.
A little something you didn't know.
Real Estate Podcast.
MC.
Yeah, she's an MC.
Hip hop.
So with New York.
Pop culture in New York. Just kind of open up the box to us about like how did living in New York shape and influence your view on culture and also kind of bring it to how you ended up here in another hub of pop culture, DC.
Wow. That's a great question. And so, I mean, obviously growing up in New York, I was heavily influenced by hip hop. You know, back in the day, you know, you got all the rappers and everything like that. Public Enemy. And if ironically enough, when Public Enemy was really local, like on a real local tip, they used to do like local parties and stuff like that. And I don't know how I got this job, but somebody tapped me to do security. So like when you would go into the place, the guys would check the guys and the girls would check the girls. And so I was there standing, you know, and then my girlfriends would come in and they would see me like have to pat you down. And they're like, Tracey. And I'd be like, I'm patting you down. Silly. I couldn't believe I did that.
All business.
But
Yes, sir.
basement parties and local parties and stuff like that. I used to try to rap with some of my girlfriends and go in a little studio and stuff like that. We also had like a little dance crew.
Mhm.
That's just like a typical New York thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can't get away from that.
And we would do that on a much lower scale here.
Mhm.
I tried to break dance and all that, but I ain't no dancer.
No,
Right.
you're not.
Wow. Why you gonna put them on
You don't have
blast
you don't-
like that?
You don't have the body. You don't have the body shape for it.
And you're not an athlete, you don't have the height for it.
Wow.
This is something.
Wow.
man.
Back of the bus.
This
It's like
what we-
throwing darts at
This what
each
we
other.
doing?
Break it up, fellas.
You
Break
gonna
it
go after
up.
my
See, this is why
height?
y'all need girl energy. I need to break it up.
But so what brought you to DC though?
Definitely school, or I should say college. That sounds better, right?
Yeah.
I just knew. I went to private school when I moved to Long Island. It was a religious school, so a lot of people don't know that about me. Elementary and high school, I was in a Lutheran school.
What is Lutheran? Who's Lutheran?
Here we go.
Don't ask me.
Out of curiosity. Oh,
He is a real person. It's almost like being
like
a
Luther,
Catholic.
like Vandross
It-
Luther?
No, but it was.
Which Luther we talking about? Big Luther, little Luther?
It's little Luther.
Little Luther.
The curly with the curl.
You don't
Got
know.
it.
You don't know little Luther.
I know little Luther. Okay, and then you built a religion around Luther Vandross. I got it. Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. But
Okay.
it's similar to Catholicism,
Okay.
but Lutherans don't believe that you have to go through somebody to ask for forgiveness.
Okay.
Okay. And so, but the services and, the sermons are very kind of like formal and in the name of the Father and Son and
And Holy
Holy
Spirit,
Ghost.
In gloria de su sangre.
Amen. So I grew up in that kind of environment.
See, I wouldn't be able to do that because I'd be laughing too much, like at the quiet parts,
They didn't have the turn up in the
Yeah,
church
there
or
wasn't no
anything
turn
like
up?
that. No.
Dang.
But I knew I wanted to like get away from New York. I mean, I love New York. It's in my heart, and I still consider myself a New Yorker. But I knew I wanted to go to a HBCU, so I did the whole college tour and everything like that. We were talking about that earlier, just
Mhm.
kicking it and having fun or whatever. And then I ended up at Howard
Mhm.
University, and loved it. And then after that, I stayed and got my master's at GW.
Okay.
And so I've been in DC ever since.
Me and Marcus didn't even finish college.
I know he was telling me about that. And
We
you still
stupid.
turn out to be something great.
We stupid. I did like a couple of semesters of college, and I was like, "This is weak."
I tried community college too. I was like,
Yeah,
I
I
was,
did
I was driving my mom's Ford Taurus,
Oh.
driving to cool, with already flunked out from college,
Uh-huh.
and trying to do work full time and then and go to school part time. And I was like, I'm broke and I'm tired.
Right. You need to
And
put some money in your
and I'm still
pocket.
getting like C's and D's. So I really can't. I just didn't really like the work.
You was
and I
too
was like,
conflicted.
Yeah, it's like
Too much
let me go-
partying,
put
too
this
much
away.
girls.
Credit to you, Tracey, for finishing college and you got the master's degree.
I got my
Mm.
master's
Good, good on you.
and went
what's
to
up.
corporate, did all of that.
And corporate wasn't for you.
I excelled, but then corporate is corporate. It's a doggy dog world.
Mhm.
I'm a New Yorker. I'm a hustler. I'm a grinder. I give it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I was good at what I did. I did marketing. That's what I do.
Okay.
Mostly in the financial services arena. So I worked I won't name the company, but I worked in Baltimore for a top investment management company. And then I ended up working for a secondary mortgage company. I'll just say it, Fannie Mae. I spent 5 years there. And so I actually helped them develop their first mobile app for home buyers.
Hmm.
Tight.
They killed it now. It's dead now, but I helped develop it.
They killed it when you left.
They did.
We don't want no traces of Tracy in this
Basically.
organization.
It was so much in there.
But that was like my
Control,
last
Apple,
corporate
delete.
job. So I was like, I'm out of here because
Mhm.
like the struggle is real. Like as a person of color,
Mhm.
just competing in that, we have to be that much smarter, that much, on top of our game, have
Now,
that
do you
much more
consider yourself
education.
black, or do you consider yourself a person of color?
Well, my skin color is technically brown.
Brown. Thank you. Thank you.
But I'm categorized as being black. But I like to use POC, people of color. I think we need a band together.
Mm.
Because that's, there's so many people who consider themselves people of color. We would just be bigger
'Cause, I mean,
and
doesn't
broader and
everybody have a color? Like,
Yes,
wouldn't
they
white
do.
be a color? Isn't that a person of color? Like,
No, they're not POCs.
I know, but I'm saying if you're saying like color,
Technically,
white is a color.
Yeah.
So aren't we all people of color?
Yeah, we don't want to be put in a box, right?
I don't care about boxes. I'm put me in a box.
You do.
I just want to know what box I'm being put in. Like,
well, they said you're black.
that's what they said, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm brown. This is black.
Right. I don't know.
Your shirt's white.
I don't know who missed that.
Look, they just gotta categorize people in
Yeah.
big chunks to
Gotta
make
know
it
which box to
convenient.
check.
On a loan application, it says
I don't check
black or
them.
African American.
I don't check it.
So you didn't ask her,
But
you
white
consider
people can be
yourself
African American.
That is
Yeah.
very true.
Very
so-
true.
Who making all these rules up? Like, I need to talk to somebody.
I don't know who
Where
can
were you
talk to.
I
born?
need to talk
Were
to the
you born?
manager.
Karen, all right.
Quran. Let's get to the top 2 headlines. Marcus, what you got for us on the mortgage side?
Yeah, so I was saying a couple of weeks ago about the real estate roller coaster and that we would be on it, and we are on it. So if you are a consumer who's been looking to get pre-approved, and if you've had a couple of weeks, from the first conversation to the next conversation with your loan officer, you can see clearly that the rates have been moving. Fourth quarter of the year, rates were sitting at about 7%. They trended downwards. Then they went back up towards the end of the year. And now over the first couple of days of the month, or first couple of days of 2023, we're seeing the red and the green on our charts. And just really to make it simple, we start to see how the daily index and the daily rates are changing overnight. So if you look at the average 30-year fixed mortgage, you're seeing that at about 6.5%. The average FHA loan, which is a government-backed loan, those are sitting closer to 6.125%.
So what do you think is going to happen, like, in the future? Like, what's happening for 2023?
Well,
Yeah, what's happening
I'm
in 2023, Marcus? Because you are dropping dimes. I'm like taking it all in.
I'm holding tight to, and I encourage anybody who's watching us, you need to be subscribed, you need to like it, you need to share, turn on your notifications. If you're listening to us, leave a review, share it, do that, all of that. But all of my loan officer friends in the business, those of us that do our research, we've seen, as I said in the past, when the economists say, prepare for interest rate increases, we've seen it turned out the rates have actually held stable or they've reduced.
Okay.
Right now, what we believe is the rates are going to kind of sit in that high 5 by the end of the first quarter. We'll be seeing the interest rates for the FHA maybe like 5.7 or so. I think 5.8 maybe, but they'll certainly be in that 6% range.
So should buyers wait?
Absolutely, they should wait if they're not ready.
Okay.
But if you can, do it.
And why?
Why? Because if you get in now, rates do go up, but they always come back down. So when they come back down, even if you got a 5 or 7 year ARM, which is a adjustable rate mortgage locked for that amount of time, 5-year ARM is locked for 5 years. Even if you get that now, and if it's at 7%, if you can afford the payment at 7%, buy it. Right. And then you just watch the market. Your rate is good for 5 years, but then when the rates drop, because they will come down.
Absolutely. They say marry the house, date the rate, right?
we talk about
I hate when people say that. I'm always, what does that mean?
What?
I saw
But
somebody.
that's
I
the
get the
whole
concept.
point, because interest rates are going to go down and eventually will go down. So don't miss your opportunity to buy the home of your dreams. I bought a condo, and at the time the interest rates were really high. But I got an ARM, so I was able to stabilize it for the first 5 years. And that was an investment property for me. I made a lot of money. By the time it hit year 5, I sold it because my interest rate skyrocketed. But by then it made so much money in equity that I was able to pull that equity that I had made out of it. And I went and bought a multifamily property in Baltimore after that.
So what are you telling your buyers? Are you telling them to wait? Are you telling them to just get in now?
It depends on their personal situation. And, honestly, now is a better time to buy in the sense that it's less competitive. Because last year, the year before, they were driving up the prices. People were waiving everything. Now, if you want to buy, you actually have a chance. You have an opportunity with no competition. And you might be able to get some seller credit to help buy down the interest rate, right?
That 1021321 buy down, those are great opportunities where the seller can contribute to your actual financial portfolio.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a great time to buy. I heard we talk about marry the house, date the rate.
Mhm.
I saw someone say, marry the house, date the rate, divorce your landlord. I was like, oh, y'all getting real extra.
They adding to it.
Yeah. So
Right.
again, if you're ready to get in. You know what I mean? Like, and you have to have the right team around you to make sure that as a buyer, the realtor understands your needs,
Mm-hmm.
but also from a lending perspective, at the end of the day, the money's got to be right. You're going
Right.
to pay to live somewhere. You might as well invest properly in yourself. But it's just a matter of looking at the programs and doing it when you're most ready.
And
Go
for
to-
y'all
go
that
to
don't
Marcus.
know what the
For
2-1 buy down is, check out episode 2 because Marcus explains in depth about the 2-1 buy down. And piggybacking off what you said, Tracy, I agree with you 100% because it's like, I was talking to one of my, a friend of mine, clients, sphere of influence, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna buy an investment property, and then he said, when the interest rates cool down a little bit. And I was like, all right, I mean, I hear you and you can do that. But have you considered the fact that when the interest rates do go down, which they will, that everybody's kind of thinking the same way that you are? So if everybody's
floodgate.
right, like if everybody's waiting for interest rates to go down, then when the interest rates do go down, what do you think is going to happen to prices? It's going to push them
Absolutely.
right back up like it did last time.
I would love for there to be some sort of report or some stat that shows how many people waited for the rates to go down.
Ooh.
Even like when they were at 2% and 3%,
Mm-hmm.
that they waited because they thought it was going to hit like 1 or something.
Oh my God!
I want to see how many people missed the opportunity.
That's
Oh,
right.
I can
I mean,
look at my database. I can.
as a realtor, like,
And then there was another group of people that just were so indecisive
yeah,
because there was like and we run into this all the time, Tracy, and we all do. Whereas like when it was hot,
Mhm.
people were like, well, I'm gonna wait for it to cool down because it's all this competition. We had the buyer fatigue.
That's
They
right.
were mad because they kept missing out on all these offers.
Yes.
And then the interest rate shot up, and then they were like, oh man, I should have bought.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right?
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Stop trying to time the market, people.
you can't. It's impossible.
Impossible.
It's impossible to time the market.
So that gets into the second headline, which is 3 things that you want to avoid if you are going to sell your house. And I really, really want to get your feedback on this because Tracey is a real estate agent extraordinaire, killer on the market right now. And so mistake number 1 is pricing your house too high. Have you run into these types of situations? What do you tell your homeowners, your clients, when they do want to? They say, "Hey, Tracy,
Who doesn't want the
I don't
highest
think that.
price
Let's
for
role
their
play.
home,
We're gonna
right?
role play. I'm a devil's advocate. I'm your client. Tracy, we just got out of a hot market. And I know you got a buyer or whatever, but I think that we should price it high, and then we should maybe see what I can get, and then if it doesn't work out, we can just come down later."
Oh man, that's a tough one because the 2 top enemies when you put your home on the market is buyer delay and days on the market. Buyer delay and days on the market, the first 2 weeks are the most critical weeks. That's when all the buyers are going to floodgate your place. And when you price it too high, then you have less people who will be interested in buying your property. If you price it right at the market, then you'll get an average number. If you price it low, that's when you're going to have the most eyeballs on your property.
But that's what you're for, Tracy. You're supposed to bring all the people. I want this number.
You
I
want that
you to give me.
number?
That's what I'm hiring you for.
Absolutely.
So go get me the number that I want.
So last year, we could really price your home very competitively.
Tracy's so good at this. Go ahead.
Competitively and really price your home based off of closed sales because you say they were closing at record sales. We're not in that market right now, right? And so now we have to look at the actives. So before we consider what your home should be priced at, let's look at your competition. Let's look at the homes in your community, in your neighborhood that the same buyers are going to be looking at. And let's see how your house compares. And then we can decide the right price for you.
But my house is way better than that house down the street. I mean, I updated my kitchen and I built this shed out here by myself.
It is a dope shed. Okay, I'm gonna say that right now.
You said worth $30,000, right?
Don't be putting my business out there, man. No, I got a good deal on it. It wasn't 30. To my tax guy, anyway, it wasn't 30.
Oh, I just throwing something out there.
Here's the thing. Do you want your home to sell or do you want your home to sit on the market?
I want it to sell, Tracy.
Okay, so if you want it to sell, we have to price it right. So let's look at the homes that are active now and see how your home compares to them. And so actually, once we look at the actives, depending on where you are, maybe you should be a little bit higher because maybe your home is better than those others. But if it's not, it really should be priced at the same or a little bit below because the buyers are looking for value, right? They're looking for value. So they're going to go wherever they think they're going to get the best deal. And buyers can be picky right now, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right, Tracy. And scene. Cut. Look at that. Look at that.
She's good.
Look at that, what we got here.
She's a better realtor than you are a role player.
That's not a lie. There's no lie
better
there.
than Dan the man.
Where's the lie?
I'm better than Dan the man. Marcus said it, so it is a fact.
She close to Broadway, so you know.
That's fine with me. It ain't no competition. It's all we all on the same team. She gonna throw you deals. You gonna close her deals.
Oh my God!
Throw you deals.
We're
gonna
team
I mean,
up.
it's not like we not. We had like Remax or something like that with them Bammers. Nah, we
No, you did not say
we
that.
ain't with them Bammers. We were kind of we on the same
they
team.
are not Bammers. Okay, I'm
Bammers.
just going on record and saying that.
Y'all some Bammers. Y'all from 1986 with the little balloon on the commercial.
Hot air balloon.
Oh my God!
Hot air balloon.
I'm trying to sell houses. It's not hot air
they
balloon.
should revamp their logo, right? Because I'm a marketing person, so that's
you think so. Your marketing.
I'm a marketing person, so it's very visual branding and all of that kind of stuff. They're due for a rebrand.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. But
They're overdue for a rebrand. Get rid of the hot air balloon Remax. We get it. We get it. The second error that a lot of people make that we wanted to keep them avoiding, we want them to avoid is.
No, you want them to avoid.
We want for them to avoid keep your emotions in check when you're putting your property on the market, and that's a hard one, man.
Yeah.
Because when you grew up in your house and your kids started walking in your first bathtub and your first house, especially for us as Black people, a lot of us are first generation homeowners.
Yeah.
And we get into situations like, well, I'm the first homeowner. And then when you get ready to sell, especially if you got some equity and you made, like, we were just role playing, maybe you want to sell a little bit more. And one of the biggest things that I tell my clients is, look, having a person like me who's a disinterested third party, not a disinterested third party, but a third party who can be more objective is a benefit to you because I can kind of, and one thing I always ask my clients to, I always say, do you give me permission to be honest with you?
I love it.
Like in the very beginning, do you give me, is it like even before we sign it,
that's
you give me permission to be honest with you? So that when they come and say, yeah, well, I just put this shag carpet down and I think it's worth, $10,000 more than my neighbor, do you give me permission to be honest with you?
Has anyone ever said no?
No. Why would you say no to that? It's so in the real estate wise part, it's called a tie down question. It's like it's a question that you have to say yes to.
Right.
It's like, you want to hear a funny story? Of course, everybody wants to hear a funny story.
No, I don't want to hear one.
Right? Who says that? Nobody says that. Yo, guess what happened to me today? What? And it's actually there was this girl I went to high school with. She used to always do that. And she would always, and that's why I get
you're like, damn,
God dang it! I'm just trying to go to class. You'll never believe what happened to me today.
You fell for
what,
it, huh?
Angela? What happened?
Maybe she liked you.
Well, that's not in debate.
Oh, listen to him.
Hey, I know what I look like. We know. It's all good.
What do you look like?
Well, I'm only 5'6" according to
Nick Bush.
To Nick Bush.
Oh, Nick.
But if Nick Bush didn't realize, I'm 5'6.5", and so that's way different than 5'6". 5'6" is short. 5'6.5". No.
Right. That extra half counts.
The half.
It does.
Yeah. It counts a lot.
Yeah.
So you got to keep your emotions out. You got to keep your emotions out of it. And that's one thing when I say, do you give me permission to be honest with you? And they always say, yeah. And then later in the conversation, if something's happening, like we were talking about, I want to price my house, you give me permission to be honest with you. Yeah, because that's what you hired me for.
Right.
You want me to tell you what you want to hear? You want me to tell you what you need to hear?
Absolutely.
And I think that's important because in order to get to the next great thing, which we know real estate tends to be, when you go from a condo to a townhome to single family, and you get an opportunity to go from a single man to a married man to married with children, and you can end up, it gets better. In order to get to the next great thing, you have to be willing to let go of the thing that you're currently sitting in. So that letting go of the emotion that is associated with my first place.
Right.
Like I gotta have the vision to be able to move forward. Or and I think when you first started talking about it, it was like, I think that's one of the issues that I see when I watch. I don't know what channel it's on, but like that show, and I'm very sensitive to this subject, so don't take it the wrong way. But like the hoarding thing, right? The
Oh,
hoarder
yeah.
show,
Yeah.
because it's the lack of the ability to let go of the emotions with
the hoarders?
stuff,
Yeah.
right? With the stuff,
They have emotional problems, though.
and,
So,
and,
they
like,
do.
and even for me, sometimes I'm like, man, I know these shoes. I know the sole fell off these shoes 5 years ago, but I'm gonna fix them one day.
I'm going to fix
So
it.
like the ones you got on right now?
Ooh.
Don't
I be holding on to my stuff, too, though.
You could.
put your shoe up and put my.
So,
Ooh,
what you
put
trying to
your
do?
foot.
Do you know what this is?
Do you know what these
I
are?
want to put my foot in, too.
Oh, you
are
got
the-
the those Doc Martens?
These are Louis Vuitton boots.
Oh,
So,
whoa.
we're gonna
So we're gonna put our feet down.
We'll put our feet down. I'm like, yo, these are the Yeezy
These
Quantums.
look like Doc Martens. I mean,
They don't.
I love
You can
combat
tell I'm not
boots.
fast. I have no. Those are Louis. See, I call them Louis.
Little Louis.
I don't call them nothing. I
Little,
call them.
they're
I'm like,
LVs.
That's
Yeah.
the bag too. It's like a matching set. That's a Louis Vuitton bag, right?
It is.
See, I know stuff. I know
It ain't-
fashion.
It ain't from.
But she's from New York, so
It ain't
like,
from the
of
fashion
course,
district in New York either. It's from,
for those of y'all on the
there was an orange
podcast,
bag associated with that.
y'all don't see how Tracey has come into the real estate shed today, but she is fly. She got the
Oh,
white
thank
blazer,
you.
the skinny
You know
jeans
what I'm
with the fedora.
My
The-
little, you
Is that a
know.
Louis Vuitton hat too?
It is not.
Oh, I'm
No.
about to say, see, I thought
You gotta.
said it is.
It's called high low. So you know you rock.
Right,
some-
you mix and match.
Yeah, you mix and match.
Got it. Like so, like me, and then I got Marcus on the other side.
Yeah.
Right. Got
Yin
it.
and
Got it.
yang.
You got to class it up a little bit. Got it.
Yeah, offset.
But back to your the emotional thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key is when you live there, it was a home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you want to sell it, so now it's a property.
Ooh,
Okay, it's no longer your home; it's a
Fact.
property for the new buyer,
That's
so it can
tough.
become their home.
That's so funny because I think of we turn this house into a home, and then
Right.
you go, we're gonna turn this home into a property.
Oh my
So
God.
that-
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
I never heard
home
nobody
is a
say that
property.
before.
That's
Mm.
all me, Tracy.
Tracy, come up in this
No,
booth
he's kidding.
spitting bars.
Is that
No, but that's how you
but
kind
that's
of have
facts,
to
though.
plant that
That's facts.
seed in there.
Yeah.
Like, this is your home, but now we have to make it into a property
Mhm.
so that the future buyer can make that into their home. So,
Can I steal that and use that?
absolutely.
It's stolen.
Just like I'm going to steal from Dan, do I have permission to be honest with you? I love that.
That's what we
That's
here for. We
dope.
do the collab.
That's
Like
dope.
we all collab because our goal is to. That's the thing with real estate, yo. There's so much business out there. Like we're never in competition. You can do $100 million in volume and you still have not touched the total amount of real estate that is
Oh my
available.
goodness.
Like, ain't no competition.
None.
You can have it. All I ask is that you put a footnote at the bottom when you say it. It just say credit to Dan Wheeler
Like
at your
on-
listing presentation.
like on the book reports.
It's right on the
Yeah,
in
then
the back.
credit at the end.
Sure.
I don't ask for much.
Right. It's not much to ask for.
And then the last thing on this list, this article talks about staging your home properly.
Oh.
Don't let no dude do it. More than likely,
Mm.
because we don't have a gift.
Well, not all the time.
That's
not
what
all the
I said.
time.
I said most of the time we don't have a
Brandon
gift.
Green's husband is a stage. He got his own staging
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Who's
Yeah.
this?
Brandon Green, he's the old owner
It's
of
called
Capital
staging
Property.
design.
Staging design?
Mhm.
I stand corrected.
You said correctly,
I would
yes.
say that I ain't got the gift.
No, you don't. That is, you do not. It's actually tough. It's hard, man. It's
Dan,
like
you did
it's
okay
really-
in this man shed.
Well, yeah, I did, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm different.
My wife hates my man cave.
I think it's
Really?
like it's two different. Like you either got it or you don't got it, and you got a gift and like another. Like you got the gift for radio voice. Like that's what you.
he
if I could
is jealous
trade,
of your voice,
I am.
Marcus.
I am. See, mine is all scratchy and
Marcus,
Sorry,
if
yours
you
is
want to
like
like
this.
kick him to the curb and we do our own thing,
wow.
I
Wow.
do have Coach's Corner with Marcus
You
Fields.
see this insurrection that is trying to mount.
That was
No, you know,
What
the-
about your people? You just go kick your people to the curb too?
It is January 6th, ain't it?
Didn't we talk about loyalty? Oh, it is January 6th. Whoa, this dude dropping pop culture references.
that is hilarious.
You said
Insurrection.
insurrection and made me. I was like, and they've been talking about it for 2 years. So
So what obstacles have you run into, Tracy, like regarding staging, your clients wanting to use their old nasty
she.
I've had the worst. Oh,
couches?
gosh. Well, so I really thought I was doing a good job training one particular client. I actually have like a sheet that I email over, like the tips, do's and don'ts. We have communication conversations about what we're going to do. This is for like an owner occupied home because those are the most difficult.
Yeah, that's tougher.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they think that the way their home looks is beautiful, and it is for them. Right?
Right.
But we needed
For
to
you.
appeal to as many buyers as possible.
Exactly.
So we need to depersonalize and declutter.
Mm-hmm.
And my client was so obsessed that they would call me like, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm like, yes, let's, upgrade this carpeting and let's paint the walls and do all this stuff. So I thought he was on it. I thought we had great communication. So I didn't bother to go to the home the day of the photo shoot. Because I just knew he had it on lock. It was going to be beautiful. I arrived, and when I say the house was in disarray, there was like bags of chips, lotions on the countertops. I mean, cluttered everything. I was just like ironing boards out. I bags of clothes and stuff that he said, oh, I'm just going to move this stuff over to another area while the photographer.
They're taking photos, yeah.
I'm like, no, everything has to be.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I've done that. I mean, I usually show up for the photo shoots, and then I'll be like, if we got to do it, we just got to do it.
I literally was straightening and decluttering this house and the photographer. Photographers don't like to touch anything.
They don't.
But she was just like, okay, let's do this. By the time we were done, we were sweating. And that was the day I was going to be on camera and do my intro or whatever. I didn't even want to do it. And she's like, look, you look, let's just do it. But the house did not convey the way I envisioned it. It did not shine. I mean, literally.
Did it sell?
It even had,
my question.
It had like the water on the floor, like all
good.
of the stuff. Like they say that's a black person's thing. Like when they have like.
The
case of water on the floor. I saw that on a comedy show. Right? Yeah, who was the comedian who told that joke?
It was the dude from Blackish, I think.
Yeah, I think
the dude with the Jerry curl from was he from Blackish? Yeah,
it was like you can even use it as a step stool. Every black home you'll see the thing of water on the floor. So like everything, and was just like, oh gosh.
I call it the 3 Ds, and I call it deodorize, depersonalize, and declutter.
Yeah.
For some reason in sales, everything, like when you put it in 3s, it sounds efficient.
Yeah.
For saving you time, energy, and money.
So, you know what? Sometimes I think it's better to have a neutral third party because I think even sometimes your clients don't even trust you. Yeah. So if you have a third person, I have done that before. I didn't think it was needed, but I do have a connection with an interior designer, decorator, and they'll go in and spend like an hour with the client and give them advice, move furniture around and plant that seed. And sometimes that works better. So,
did the house sell?
Yes, it definitely sold.
Great job.
Thank you.
So let's get to the real estate hot or not. So in the real estate hot or not, I think today I want to do this. What I want. I want to do would you rather. I want to pick Tracey's mind.
Oh gosh.
We're gonna rapid fire these would you rathers. All right, Tracey.
Okay.
You just gotta whatever come to your mind. All right, here we go.
You gotta get ready for this.
Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose 1 year of your life?
They the same?
1 year. Yeah, they are the same.
No, if you was going to die at 57, you die at 56.
No, you said lose 1 year, so.
No, you lose 1 year off your life. I'll say that.
I'll lose 1 year off my life.
Then spend 1 year in jail?
I don't understand your question. Like, if I'm just going to die a year sooner,
correct. I
might live to 100, so I'll die at 99.
Okay. What about you, Marcus?
I'm plead the fifth. I don't even like that question.
Right. I don't like the question either.
That's a good question. I mean, you're not supposed to like the question. But I'm going to die at 99.
Yeah, I don't like the question.
You're not supposed to be in jail. You want chicken or fish? Everybody like those questions. No, I want the hard question.
Go to number 2.
Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or 20 minutes early?
20 minutes early.
20 minutes early.
Me too. I mean, I'm always usually at least
if you're on time, you're late, right?
That's what they say. Would you rather be able to talk to land animals, animals that fly, or animals that live under the water?
Well, I don't know how to talk ocean talk, so I'll say land animals. At least I can moo and bat.
That was a good sheep.
Marcus, would you rather give up all the drinks except for water, or give up eating anything that was cooked in an oven?
Where do you get these questions from?
Answer the questions. People want to know.
I'll drink water for the rest of my life, but I got to.
Right.
I need to bake. I need baked chicken. I need to be able to roast.
Right.
My Brussels sprouts.
I'm with you on that one.
See, yeah. I'm okay because I can cook on top of the oven. It didn't say on there; it said in the oven. So I can cook. I can grill. Fine.
True that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I can't drink orange soda anymore. Like, come on. Like,
you can have that.
Orange soda?
That's the devil's juice.
Yeah.
What? So
soda.
Yeah, that's why it's so delicious.
Most things aren't good for you.
Did you ever watch Kenan and Kel when you was a kid?
No.
You never watch Kenan and Kel?
No.
Who loves orange soda?
They was corny.
Kel loves orange soda. Is it true?
Kenan's still kind of corny
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday Night Live.
He is acting that out to the T.
I do.
That's the only thing he could watch back in the day.
Kenan and Kel. That was the one show my mother let me watch.
Okay.
Kenan and
Comedy
Kel.
show, different world. We grew up in similar households to some degree.
Mine was way more strict. We were basically what's the word? Amish, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't tell you. I grew up Pentecostal.
Oh, yeah, I heard that on your last episode.
Right, apostolic, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Because Pentecostal is like, apostolics are a little bit more judgy than Pentecostals. They're like the judgiest of all of them.
Dad is begging for problems.
Go in, DM me. Okay. Dan at danwillisellshomes.com is my email if you got a problem.
Come on, how many more we got?
Last one. Would you rather see what was behind every closed door or be able to guess the combination of every safe on the first try?
Would you like to see what's behind
every closed door, or would you be able to see get every combination to every safe on the first try?
Get the combination, and then you can see what's behind every closed door. You can do both. Marcus
I'm wrong with her.
I'm the opposite of both of y'all, as usual. I'd rather see what's behind closed doors because my mind is thinking, I want to go to Area 51. I want to open up all those doors. I want to see all the aliens that they got, uncover all the spaceships.
What the hell? Marcus and I are still confused.
I don't want no combination. I'll take the door.
Next time, Marcus, you do the question.
Dad got demoted.
I got demoted. That's fine. You can't demote me. This is our show.
Right.
You gonna come in our drink. But you know what? We'll give you that honor. Okay. You can demote me.
I didn't get him. It was fun though.
Yeah.
So,
want to get to the comment section?
Nah, one more hot or not, right?
Oh, bet. Okay.
Affirm, Afterpay.
Oh, yeah.
That, right? And
so what do you think?
It's in between. It's lukewarm, right?
Okay.
So last week we talked about Layaway, and basically, Afterpay. If you go online, everybody's doing online shopping or whatever. Sometimes you got your PayPal has this buy now, pay later thing. You got Sizzle, Affirm, Afterpay,
Klarna.
So basically, it's the layaway concept. I get it now. It comes
right,
and then I have to give my debit card. They take the first payment and then they split it up into 4 payments, or whatever, and then you just pay it off over time. But you get it first. Layaway, you gotta wait it until you pay for it.
Right.
But from a lending perspective, it hits your credit report. I see Affirm and Afterpay on the credit report all the time.
Really?
So what does that do as far as like if you're trying to buy a house?
It affects your debt ratio.
Oh.
But it doesn't affect it to a large degree because it shows up as an installment loan, which is the equivalent of like a car payment.
A car, okay.
Right? And in the guidelines, if you have less than 10 payments left on an installment loan, we tend to ignore that from your debt ratio.
Oh,
really?
So with this Affirm and Afterpay and these alternatives, they only do it in maybe, I think I've seen it probably at most like 6 months. So there's a lot of times where we just ignore it. And the payment is usually pretty small. But some people, I've seen it where it's like $152 or whatever. So that $150 added into your debt ratio can impact you from being at $275.
Like if you're on the
border, you really need to be at $300,000.
Right.
Like that $150 a month So just be careful. I guess my advice to that is it hot or not? Yeah, it's hot because you can get the shoes or whatever, but it's not because I'm still trying to buy a house.
Right.
So just be careful. Have a conversation up front with your lender about certain things. And do you have to ask or want to think I got to ask my lender if I can buy this? What? Look, there's no harm in the question. It takes 5 minutes to answer it, right? And I will say this. Some of my best transactions are with the people that trust me wholeheartedly and are vulnerable enough to ask questions just like that. Because there ain't no stupid question when it comes to this process. My mom said, ain't no stupid question at all. Ask the teacher until you understand. And I'm like, well, I don't want to keep asking. I don't want to bother them. Ask the question until you understand.
Yeah.
So I still employ that to my clients. Hey, ask me questions. I have no problem.
It's about building trust, right?
Yeah.
So together, you work together with Dan and you work together with your client as a team. And so it's about transparency because the lender, you want to get your client to the finish line, right?
Absolutely.
So I always tell my clients, tell your lender everything. Yep. Don't forget about, I've had deals fall through because when they were filling out the application, it says, have you ever, not made payments on a federal loan? I forget what the formal question is. They check no, not knowing that the school loans and whatever programs that they were in qualified for that. Also child support payments. Just tell your lender everything what you're trying to do because you want to help them and you can kind of figure out and strategize. Maybe you can't buy in the next 30 days, but maybe you can buy in 6 months, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then when they're ready, you're going to call up Dan and be like, yeah, Sarah's ready. She did everything she was supposed to do. Let's get it on and started, right?
We're going to find out anyway.
Yeah. You're going to find out anyway, right?
Taxes too. Taxes are...
Listen. Taxes
catch you out there. And the tough thing, I've had a couple deals fall through like that. You probably have too. You don't find that out until underwriting.
So I've got some tricks in the bag. And this is like KFC. You're going to love it.
You got a DM.
You're going to love it, but I ain't going to tell you what it is.
Send us a DM.
Listen, holler at me. Mortgage Coach Marcus. DM
holler at us in the comments section.
There's tricks and there's ways to be able to learn this information up front.
Yeah.
So you don't got to wait till the day before closing and be like, you owe $80,000 of taxes.
The thing that I hate the most, and hate is a strong word, but I hate it, is doing this upfront preparation, going through the process, and they don't tell you something, and you find out, and then that finding out, it blows the whole deal up.
Right.
And because here's the reality, what I faced over time is, they're not saying this is y'all, but the realtors do not care that we just found out and that the buyer
I do.
It's your fault.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
How come you didn't ask this?
Yeah. It is your fault.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's your fault because but really it's our fault because even if it's your fault, well, that was
we're working together. So
that was the lender that you brought me. You introduced me to him. So then guess what? It's Tracey's fault. It's Dan's fault.
I'm always saying be transparent. Tell them everything.
Right.
Don't hold anything back. The more information you share, the better it will help them getting you to the end.
And there's a matter of moving swiftly with purpose, right? And getting these answers. But there's sometimes when I know I look at the credit report and let's say the credit is 638 and I know that loan works from an FHA perspective because they got the money or the deal set up for whatever. I know that works. But what I also know is there's something behind the scenes that I don't know or that I don't see.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, all right, I need to take the time to do this back in recon, an investigation, to make sure, and it might take a couple of days long, more than, 'cause I can get a pre-approval to you same day a lot of times, but it might take 3 or 4 extra days.
Right.
But I'd much rather take those 3 or 4 extra days because I know this thing, it's got a smell to it. and when it smells
a little funny.
And it's almost impossible for it to never not smell.
Wow.
It's almost like you can't get off of that smell. And I'm like, until I resolve. What do you say?
That's it. That's that experience right there.
So I don't want to bring you anything smelly.
No. But see, here's the thing. That's why I cut my teeth.
Right.
I know I've seen. I ain't gonna see all of it, but I've seen so much. I'm like, oh, I know what this really look like, so I need to be able to do this, and make sure I resolve all these things up front. And all right, I've taken care of this. Watch out for that. Dan, watch out for this. Watch out for that. But go forward. Here's the pre-approval. We're good. But I'm also telling the borrower, like, hey, this was on here. You didn't tell me about it. We're good. But just know, I've already also talked to the underwriters and say, hey, this is what we got in this file. So that when you get it, and the file's packaged from processing and it lands in your lap, we already talked about this 3 weeks ago.
Marcus, it's not true what Dan said then.
What?
You're smart.
Wow. Tracy's going on you, dog.
Hey, listen.
Tracy is going on you right now. I'm just telling you.
She's going on you.
No, shots fired, dog. She's going on you.
I'm going on you, Dan. No, I'm just kidding.
She said you smarter than you look is what she said.
No, I said it's not true what Dan said about you.
She said you don't.
No, Marcus. Marcus, no.
Dan always trying me.
See,
Dan always trying me.
See,
that's why.
I ain't say it.
I was like, no, Dan. I know you're dealing with, somebody who's on top of his stuff. He's like,
look at Tracy right now.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around with y'all.
Tracy, the reluctant ham, is not reluctant at all. There is no reluctance.
No,
she Eddie Kane. She ain't duck or dresser. She Eddie Kane.
She's ready to go.
You know who those three people are?
Energy in this man shed.
You don't
is that
know
a black movie
Kane,
reference?
Duck or dresser are?
Is that a black
you know
movie?
JT or Choir Boy?
Is that a black movie reference? Then you know the answer to that question. I do not know.
All right.
Feel free to elucidate me.
In the comments, y'all need to put some
tell
movie
me
titles.
who these people are that he is speaking
don't
about.
tell you that. Give Dan some movies that he needs to see.
Yeah, tell me the movies that I need to see. I already know all the movies I need to see. I saw...
you seen Let's Do It Again?
What's that? That's a movie? You seen it? Lutheran?
Yeah.
You called a Lutheran.
I knew my name, so I was like, yeah.
You seen it? Luther?
That's going to be my new name.
I like that name.
I don't want that name.
You got a good sense of humor. That's why I like you.
No, I like to have fun, so
let's get into the comments section, everybody. So, one comment that I got was actually from another real estate agent who was talking about content creation, which Tracey is a content creation queen. I try to dabble my little pinky toe in the content creation space. And I think it's really good, depending on your level of... so you're either going to do one or two things. You're either going to spend money or you're going to spend time in your content creation space. If you're going to spend time, then you're more than likely going to be doing most of the stuff yourself. If you're going to spend money, then you're going to hire that content creation piece out. So, Tracey, in your experience, what have you found to be, I guess, the most financially lucrative, the biggest payoff for you as far as like all your content, the content that you create, the podcast? How have you found that balance working for you in your business?
Wow, that's a great question. I will say I'm still in my exploratory stage. I haven't found that magic medium or channel that is going to be the winner for me. My background is in marketing, so I'm very big on brand. I'm very big on aesthetic and look and feel. And so I'm still working on my content creation. I think you do an excellent job, Dan, honestly, because you're always on camera. So that's one thing I'm going to make changes into 2023, to be on camera more, talk to my audience. I don't do that as much. Everything is very polished and clean and, just visual images and stuff like that. But the people really want to connect with you. So you have to be comfortable talking with them. So I think that's going to be key for us, even more in 2023, because, the deals aren't just going to fall in your lap, right? You got to make it happen. You got to be an expert at what you do. And how do you do that? By communicating with your end user, communicating with the buyers and sellers. You do that well. So I need to turn the tables around on you, but I'm everywhere, and I'm dabbling. I'm trying to grow. I'm on Instagram. I'm a little bit on TikTok. I'm definitely on LinkedIn. And I'm going to start to be more on YouTube. Yeah. That's where I'm really going to start to push my energy.
I see a lot of people jumping in on I know we're getting our YouTube channel popping, and I'm working on getting my personal YouTube. I've been terribly inconsistent on my YouTube. I looked at my YouTube, I just posted a new video yesterday because I'm trying to get, get my YouTube back up. And I think the last time I posted something was 2019. I jumped into the shorts for a little while, YouTube shorts. But I think basically, like you said, to your point, I am always on camera. I'm always posting something.
And you said you were an introvert.
I am an introvert. I think, see, the thing is, people believe that because you are personable or you have charisma, that you must be an extrovert, which I think we were talking about this, we weren't recording, but Yeah, it depends, like you were saying, Marcus, on where you draw your energy, right?
Right.
So
But
for
you're
me,
comfortable being on camera.
I have no choice. Like if I wasn't
You
in
do
real
have
estate,
a choice.
if
The
I
choice
wasn't
is
on real
not
estate,
to be on camera.
no, that's true,
Right.
I and that would affect my business. So
Right.
for me,
So you say it helps.
if I was doing
It's
like
healthy.
IT, I wouldn't even have an Instagram, none of that stuff. Nobody
Right.
would even know I was alive if I was in like IT.
Right.
But I got to be out there, so it's kind of like you take like I don't like talking on the phone. But you can't not talk on the phone if you're in real estate. Like,
Right.
Nobody told us that when we got into real estate. That basically you're a telemarketer. You just be calling people like
Right.
3 hours a day if you really wanted to work.
It's a contact sport,
It's
right?
a contact sport. So yeah, I'm definitely very much an introvert, but you wouldn't know it, if you look, because I think most people think introvert equals shy, which it doesn't.
Right.
Introvert, you can be shy and be an extrovert.
Yeah.
But I'm not shy, but I am an introvert. Like for me, sitting at home with my kid and my wife and just watching TV is like the best thing I could ever do. Leaving my house and going out to like a G-car party, it's like, okay, let me do this thing.
Right.
And do the thing.
You think about what time you're leaving before you leave the house.
I'm like, okay,
what time you leaving the event?
Having a wife and kids
Right.
is like the best excuse to leave. Like, I gotta get back to my kids. Yeah, I gotta put this
Absolutely.
kid to bed. It's the dopest.
Listen, I'm in between. It depends on the setting. Like I'm either can't wait to hurry up and get back.
But what would you prefer? Where do you go to draw your energy back?
I love being around people,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like, I also love, like you said, like being at the house.
Right.
Like, let me throw something on the grill. Let me be, in the man cave.
Are you drained after you are around a large amount of people? Are you drained or are you energized?
I tend to lean more towards being drained.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you're an introvert. If you were energized,
my wife would say, I feed off being around and the thing, but like on the way home, sometimes I'd be like, oh, I'm tired.
right.
I think it depends on the environment, right? Because when I'm among my people, meaning like my tribe, people hang out with my sphere, my friends and family, I love it.
Right.
I'm like a social butterfly. But if it's in a bigger event where I don't know as many people, I tend to be more laid back and shy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
But then there's a flip to that, right? So when I go into my networking events and things like that, and we were talking about like the Black or African American thing, usually I'm the only Black person, African American in the room,
Right.
where I live. And I love it. I love it. I don't even know all of why, but I think the energy and the competitive thing, like, oh, that's an opportunity for me to show y'all,
Right.
for me to like network with you, and be like, yo, I met this dude. I'm like, he's a flash of lightning, like whatever. I've heard people say these things about me, but I'm from there, so it's like I'm just being me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't walk away from that meeting feeling drained. I walk away feeling like, yo, I got these opportunities and I'm energized behind it. Yet when I know that, like, let's say we had Thanksgiving dinner at the house, and there's times where family comes over, and it's a lot of running around, kids and whatever, and you're doing this prep and all these things, and I'm like, at the end of the night, I feel like I'm dragging my feet, like I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Wow.
And having to entertain and things
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
And
that's a lot. Entertaining.
And I love my family,
Right.
no doubt. But like, my brother is tired when I get done.
Yeah.
We
So
all are.
I think one of the biggest things
maybe that's not the right.
for real estate agents or just in general, if you're trying to get into the content creation space, is just get out there, just start doing it.
Just do it.
The excuse of I'm an
That's the
introvert
time
or
thing.
I'm an extrovert or I don't know how to do it or whatever. Like we always say, like even when we started this podcast, like if you look at the very first podcast, which we didn't even air because it was so trash, what do we say? Like yo, we're gonna build it as we fly.
Right.
Because
Right.
I don't care what it looks like. I'm gonna put it out, and people are going to really. See, the thing is, we gotta bring people on the journey with us.
Yeah.
Like the people who what we call the Real Estate Wire Squad, our dedicated core listeners,
Mm-hmm.
are going to be with us through the entire journey, and they're going to be the ones that's like, yo, we was listening to the Real Estate Wire when they first started,
Absolutely.
and we'll build that look. But I think a lot of times we miss out on showing our people our growth because we want it to be perfect when we put it out there because we don't want to have no judgment or no criticism. But we can't avoid judgment or criticism because even if it's perfect, people still going to judge it and criticize it.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's like, yo, that's why I'm also like, let me just put out a whole bunch of content. I'm just keep putting it out.
Right.
And like it, love it, hate it. It's going to be whack, but it's going to get better. Then, I think that's how, like, the people that I've seen it do the best, when you go back early in their content, you're like, that was weak.
Don't
But-
look for perfection, right?
Yeah, it's impossible, and you're always going to be growing. Like we literally just put the screen up today. I'm like, that's a good idea.
It's
And you was like,
great.
you ain't never did that before? Nah, like, but I think it's a good, cool little addition. You know what I mean? Like, but it was something we randomly
Absolutely.
thought about today. You know what I mean?
But I would give Dan credit, right? Like, all of that you see, that's Dan. Right?
Really?
I asked him, like, what you want me to do? Like, nothing to worry about it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like from posting it to all of those platforms to the background. He asked me, he's like, do you like this emoji? He said, what emoji would you prefer? I said, we kind of went back and forth. But like, dude is smart, right? But he's in every single space. And I think from a content creation, it's a matter of, okay, let me just continue to make myself vulnerable, be coachable,
That's
just dive into it and let me try. So you go from YouTube back in the day, YouTube slows down because of the emergence of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Then you feed your stuff from Instagram to Facebook, and now you're on TikTok, and then maybe you have Snapchat. Maybe I don't know, but like whatever the thing is that's coming out,
Yeah.
Dan will jump on it. You know,
So I'll have to ask Dan's advice when it comes to social.
That's my
like,
advice.
do it
Just
all.
shoot.
He like do it all.
Just do everything, and then like I said, don't aim for perfection. Just start putting it out. And one good tip that I use is called R&D, which is rip off and duplicate.
Yes.
Find a couple cats that you see that are doing content that you like, that are branding the way that you like, and just steal their ideas. Like literally, just steal their ideas, put your name on it, and then eventually you're going to start coming up with your own style because everybody's ripping off and duplicating at some
Absolutely.
It's all a spectrum. It's all a wave, and everybody's kind of like intermingling and sharing ideas with each other. So don't be afraid to grab about 2 or 3 content creators that you like, go through their feed, and literally just do the same video that they did.
You're right. And the only thing that I kind of I resonate with that so much because I used to be kind of like not wanting to put all my shit out there because I felt like people might try to copy or whatever. But I just changed my mentality, like come from a place of abundance.
Right.
And, the world is abundant and you have your own flavor and your own style. So even if they try to copy, they're not going to do it the way Dan does it.
And if
They're
they try to
just
copy, they're not
not.
going to copy. See, and one, to that point, I'll say, cool. If they copy you, good. 2, I'll say, put so much content out there that by the time they copy your old style, you want a whole new style. And that keeps keeps us as content creators constantly innovating and pushing and doing. If somebody want to copy our podcast, okay, cool. Maybe they copying our content from 6 months ago, but we're on a podcast now.
Y'all have synergy.
It's cool.
Nobody can duplicate it. Period.
And I think that there's room for that. Like your podcast, The Reluctant Hams on all platforms is not in competition with our podcast.
No.
Or Nick Bush's podcast. And Nick Bush actually hit me to this. He's like, yo, there is no because they literally can listen to your podcast and listen to my podcast and listen to Nick Bush podcast.
Absolutely.
Right? And they can listen to all our stuff. So I think that, we are in a really unique time right now where there's so much content available that we all can benefit from, from that space, from being in that space.
Yeah, and you do it well. So kudos to you.
Well, I appreciate you. You guys do it well. Make sure you guys to follow the Reluctant Hams.
That's us. Yeah.
The Reluctant Hams podcast, available on all platforms. Make sure that if you are watching on YouTube, like I said last episode, if you are not subscribed to our podcast and you are watching, you are stealing our content.
Ooh.
You must subscribe. I am mandating that you subscribe or do not watch our content anymore. Thank you for that. We are on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this podcast with anybody that you might think is dope, because if they think it's dope and you think it's dope, we appreciate that. My name is Dan the Realtor.
Mortgage Coach Marcus.
And we are out.